On The Bold and the Beautiful, the stage is set for an explosive and deeply emotional confrontation between Thomas Forrester and Liam Spencer, and this isn't just another clash of egos or old rivalries. This moment cuts straight to the heart of trust, memory, and whether true change can ever erase real damage. At the center of it all is Hope, caught once again between two men who represent completely different versions of her past and her future. Thomas insists he has changed, and on the surface there is evidence to support that claim. He sought help, acknowledged his mental health struggles, and spent significant time away from Los Angeles, rebuilding his life in Paris. He presents himself now as calmer, more self-aware, and focused on redemption rather than obsession. For Thomas, returning to Forrester Creations isn't just a career move, it's a declaration that he believes he deserves another chance, professionally and personally. But for Liam, none of that history simply disappears. Liam cannot forget what Thomas did because he lived with the consequences. He watched Hope suffer, doubt herself, and spiral emotionally because of Thomas's manipulation. He remembers the lies, the obsession, the gaslighting, and the way Thomas repeatedly crossed boundaries under the guise of love. For Liam, these aren't distant memories, they're scars. And scars don't vanish just because someone says they're better now. While Thomas was off-screen in Paris, Liam didn't have to confront those feelings daily. Out of sight meant out of immediate danger. Thomas wasn't looming over Hope's life, her career, or her emotional well-being. That distance gave Liam peace. But with Thomas making a significant return to Forrester Creations, that peace evaporates instantly. Now Thomas isn't just back, he's back in Hope's world. That's what changes everything. For Liam, this isn't about jealousy or rivalry. It's about fear. Fear that history could repeat itself. Fear that Hope's compassion could once again be used against her. Fear that Thomas's proximity, especially in a high-pressure creative environment, could slowly blur lines that should never be crossed again. This is where Liam's warning becomes crucial. Liam confronting Thomas isn't impulsive, it's protective. He needs Thomas to understand that while forgiveness may be offered, forgetting is not required. Liam's message is clear: change is proven over time, not through words or dramatic returns. And if Thomas truly has changed, he will respect boundaries, especially when it comes to Hope. But whether Thomas hears that warning as concern or accusation remains to be seen. From Thomas's perspective, Liam's refusal to move on feels unfair. Thomas believes he's done the work. He feels judged forever for his worst moments, with no room to grow beyond them. That resentment could easily harden into defensiveness, especially if Thomas feels he's constantly being watched, tested, and challenged. And then there's Steffi Forrester Finnegan, firmly in Thomas's corner. Steffi is eager to have her brother back, both personally and professionally. She believes in his growth and wants him reintegrated into the family and the business. To Steffi, Thomas's return represents healing, a chance for their family to move forward instead of remaining trapped in old trauma. She doesn't see Liam's concerns as protective, she sees them as obstructive. That difference in perspective adds fuel to the fire. Steffi's support gives Thomas confidence and legitimacy at Forrester Creations, but it also places her directly at odds with Liam. Once again, the same emotional fault lines are opening. Trust versus fear, forgiveness versus caution, hope versus memory. And in the middle of it all is Hope, whose life and career are being reshaped without her fully controlling the narrative. Thomas's return forces Hope to confront feelings she's worked hard to process. She wants to believe people can change. She values redemption. But she also carries the emotional weight of what Thomas once did to her. Liam's warning may sound harsh, but it echoes questions Hope herself may be afraid to voice. Can she work closely with Thomas without reopening old wounds? Can she trust his change without risking her emotional safety? And if Liam pushes too hard, does he risk pushing Hope away instead? That's what makes this confrontation so powerful. It's not about who's right, it's about whose fear matters more. Liam's warning could change everything if it forces Thomas to truly prove his transformation through consistent, respectful behavior. But it could also escalate tensions, especially if Thomas feels backed into a corner or unfairly persecuted. On The Bold and the Beautiful, pressure has a way of revealing truths, and sometimes creating new problems where old ones once lived. This storyline isn't asking viewers to choose sides easily. It's asking whether redemption should come with conditions, and whether love sometimes means refusing to forget. As Thomas and Liam face off, the real question isn't whether Thomas has changed. It's whether everyone else can survive the test of believing it.